Hello and welcome back to Off the Beaten Pot, bringing great food back to the great outdoors. If you're interested in upping your culinary game in the outdoors, or even starting your culinary game in the outdoors, then please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos on how to do said thing. Today we're looking at gear envy and what to do about it. If you're anything like me, you suffer from gear envy. You'll be outside on the trail, scrolling through Instagram and see all the latest and greatest stuff. And naturally, because we're human, we suddenly get FOMO, and to make it worse, the algorithm knows what you think you're missing out on, so it promotes these products even more. So how do we get around the fact that we can't always and don't always and shouldn't always have the things that we want? Today, I'll share some of my methods of dealing with gear envy. I remind myself that the things I have now I would have only dreamed of having 10 years ago. And 10 years on, that's true. I don't have the latest and greatest tent, but the tent I have is beyond what I thought I'd have. It was a hand-me-down, does me well, and the more we use the gear we have, the more we get to know it and the more we can get out of it. So we don't need to keep rolling it on in our lives. It used to be that the outdoors community wasn't so affected by seasonal trends, but obviously anything that has a degree of interest catches on, so we find ourselves being bombarded with new gear from new companies and old companies all the time. And really the best thing we can do for ourselves, our mental health, our wallet, the environment, is to appreciate the gear we have and use it until it breaks. That's not to say that we shouldn't treat ourselves every now and again, but just make sure our purchases are worthwhile. Stop scrolling on social media. What you have is fine, you are enough, you're good enough, and you have enough. Before making purchases, we can ask some questions. Can you be responsible for the item at its end of life? For example, you can get these weird sort of self-inflating single-use plastic tissues. They come in a plastic wrap, and what are they made out of? Plastic composite. Do you need it? Can you use something else that's more in tune with living on a shared manner in this planet and has less of an environmental and carbon footprint? Can you be responsible for your items when you get rid of it at its end of life? Know that in 5 years' time that the thing you bought today that is the best thing since sliced bread is going to be old news. Unless it's a tried and tested item such as the Tranger or the Surveyor 123, it's easy to be told that you need to have a new product for a better enjoyment of the outdoors. But you don't. There's no need to spend money on things that you already have. You don't need to buy the latest and greatest MSR cooking utensil set. I did, and I really like it. But I already have these items at home, and I could bring them along with me from the kitchen. There's space for them, there's a time for them, but there are lots of different options out there. So choose one and know that you're going to use it for many, many years. Purchase from companies that give a fuck. What do I mean by this? Well, some companies put a lot of money into research and development, making products genuinely last. Some companies only really want you to buy one jacket, one stove, one pair of shoes. They can be fixed, stuffed, filled along the way. Some companies out there don't give a fuck. Their business model is based on items breaking over time and being so cheap that you just repurchase them. Is that a good option? So, some food for thought there. If you've got any ways to get rid of gear envy or FOMO, etc., I would love to hear them. So please drop them in the comments section below, which happens to be right near or next to the subscribe button. Cheers and gone.